Hello and welcome to this third short section on masters, themes and layouts in our course on PowerPoint 2013. I mentioned at the end of the last section that although we appear to have footers and page numbers and dates on our slide master, they're not appearing on the slides. So in this section we're going to see how to make those work. Now, the behavior by which these things don't appear is actually an intentional behavior, and the idea behind this is that you can control very quickly and easily whether to show these things on the slides at any particular time. You may, for example, want to show things in a presentation but not show them in a printed copy of the slides and the notes, or vice versa, of course. And it is actually very straightforward to control, and you can control it at either the master level, the layout level, or the individual slide level. Let's go and take a look at the master for this particular presentation, the UK Parliament presentation that we've just started working on. So, View, Slide Master, go to the Slide Master, and then on the Insert tab, click on Header and Footer. And what you'll see in Header and Footer is that there are three categories: date and time, slide number and footer, of items that may or may not appear on every slide depending on these three checkboxes. So if I wanted to show the date and time, I'd check there, slide number, check there, footer, check there, and actually put a footer in that case. So let me put as my footer. Now let's quickly look at each of these in turn. Date and time, we have a choice. We can either say update automatically, in which case it will show whatever date we're looking at the presentation on. So whenever we're linked electronically to this presentation, it will show the date at that time. We can say which language we're using, English United States, because obviously that will govern the format of the date and time. So English United States will say month, day, year. English United Kingdom would say day, month, year. And then we can also, depending on the language, reset or set the calendar type. If instead of that we wanted to put a fixed date on, say the date we're aiming to give the presentation or the date the presentation was prepared, we can switch to a fixed date and enter the fixed date here. The slide number is straightforward enough, although it is possible to format that number in whatever way we want. And then for the footer, I've really just put a test in there. Normally you'd put a more realistic footer in there. Now, having clicked that, and bearing in mind that we're doing this to the master, we click on Apply, and having applied that to the master, it will appear on every slide. So let me go back to the Slide Master tab, close the master view, and let's have another look at our slides. So I'm going into Reading View now, and I'm going to step back through the slides. I'm on slide 3. Note where the slide number appears in that sort of black angled bar there, and on the first slide it appears down there in the black angled bar down there. Now, there was a setting in the dialog whereby you can suppress the page number on the first slide, the title slide, if you want to. Now, when you're looking at these, you may look at something like the date there and think, well, that's a bit on the small side really, and I've seen people try to reformat that on individual slides. But the point about this, and what we've been covering in the last couple of sections, is that if you want to change the size of the footer, the formatting of the date, the size and formatting, say, of the slide number, you need to go to the highest level you can to change them, unless you have a specific reason to change them, say on a specific layout or on a specific slide. So let's go back into normal mode. Let's go back to the View tab, Slide Master, and let's on this occasion say go to the layout that was used for two of the slides. That's this layout. Click that layout. There you can see the page number where it appears. Down here you can see the placeholder for the footer. Now, having selected that placeholder for the footer, if on that particular one I said, right, I want that to be a bigger side. Instead of 10 point, I want 16 point, and I want it bold and italic. Now back onto Slide Master, close, back into my presentation. You can see the footer on the title page, the first page, but look now at the second page, which is built from that alternative layout. On pages built from that layout, it will all appear much bigger. And again, that's the principle of inheritance of the style down through the structure, from the master, through the layouts to the individual slides. So we're going to be using these principles throughout the rest of the course. And just one other thing to mention here, if we go back onto the View tab again, you may have noticed in the Master Views group, we've been using Slide Master a lot, there is also a Handout Master, and you can adjust the Handout Master. We'll look at handouts a little bit later on in the course, but although you don't quite have the flexibility that you have with the Slide Master, there's quite a lot you can do with the Handout Master. And similarly, again, if I go back onto the View, there is also a Notes Master, and you can customize the Notes Master as well. Both of those you should be able to follow through fairly swiftly and simply. I'll look at them briefly later on in the course. That's it now for Masters, Themes and Layouts. I'll see you in the next section.